Have you ever received a call from an unknown number and felt a strange chill run down your spine? What if that call wasn't just a wrong number, but a message from your own future? A message that contained the sound of your own death. In 2003, director Takashi Miike plunged audiences into a terrifying world where technology becomes a harbinger of doom. A world where your own phone becomes the instrument of your demise. This is the story of a deadly curse transmitted through the most common device we own, turning the familiar ringtone into a funeral dirge. So, silence your phones, turn down the lights, and prepare to answer the call. This is the chilling tale of *1 missed call*. The story begins in a bustling Tokyo karaoke bar where a group of friends, including a young woman named Yoko, are enjoying a night out. The cheerful atmosphere is abruptly shattered when Yoko's phone rings with a bizarre, unsettling ringtone that no one recognizes. She looks at her phone and is confused to see a missed call from her own number dated to days in the future. Hesitantly, she plays the attached voicemail. A blood-curdling scream echoes from the small speaker, a sound of pure terror that is unmistakably her own voice. Her friends try to laugh it off as a prank or a technical glitch, but a seed of dread has been planted. 2 days later, Yoko is talking to her friend Yumi on the phone while standing on a railway overpass. At the exact moment the missed call was dated, an unseen force violently throws her over the railing and into the path of an oncoming train. Her death is brutal, instantaneous, and mirrors the horrific scream from her voicemail. The only thing left behind is a small red hard candy that falls from her mouth. The terrifying phenomenon doesn't stop with Yoko. Soon after her funeral, another friend from the karaoke night, Kenji, receives a similar call. It's from his own number, dated for a few days in the future. He listens to the voicemail and hears his own choked, terrified gasps. Panic sets in. Yumi, now deeply frightened, tries to convince him it's just a sick coincidence, but Kenji knows better. He becomes a prisoner of his own fear, barricading himself in his apartment, desperately trying to avoid the fate foretold by his phone. As the designated time approaches, Yumi stays on the phone with him, trying to keep him calm. But as the clock ticks over, a shadowy figure appears behind him. The entity, a ghostly woman, grabs him and brutally twists his head around. Kenji dies in a horrifying, contorted heap. And just like with Yoko, a single red candy drops from his lifeless mouth. The curse spreads like a virus. After Kenji's death, Yumi's closest friend, Natsumi, becomes the next target. The now infamous ringtone chimes on her phone. The missed call, the future date, the voicemail containing her own final agonizing moments sits all there. Natsumi's impending doom pushes her to the brink of sanity. She becomes desperate for a way out, agreeing to appear on a live television show about paranormal phenomena, hoping that public exposure might somehow break the curse. The TV producers, eager for ratings, set up an exorcism on live television. As the world watches, the final minutes of Natsumi's life tick away. The exorcism is a chaotic failure. When the moment of her prophesied death arrives, Natsumi's body begins to twist and contort unnaturally. Her joints snap, and her limbs bend at impossible angles as an invisible force mutilates her. She dies screaming in agony before a live studio audience, her horrific death broadcast across the nation. And once again, a small red candy is the only clue left behind. Yumi, having witnessed the gruesome deaths of all her friends, is gripped by an all-consuming terror. She knows she's next. Her phone rings, and the dreaded missed call appears on her screen. She now has a deadline for her own death. Refusing to surrender to fate, she teams up with Hiroshi Yamashita, a man whose own sister died in a similar, mysterious fashion. Yamashita has been investigating these death calls, and his search has led him to a name, Marie Mizunuma. He discovered that Marie's mother, Miko, was accused of child abuse and had a history of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a disorder where a caregiver fabricates or induces illness in a person under their care to gain attention. They believe Miko is the vengeful spirit or asterisk Onru behind the curse, punishing people from beyond the grave. Their investigation leads them to the derelict and abandoned hospital where Mimiko used to work and where her children were treated. Digging through old hospital records, they discover that Marie suffered from severe asthma and that Mimiko was often the one who brought her in for treatment. As they delve deeper into the hospital's decaying corridors, they find a hidden room in the morgue. Inside, they make a horrifying discovery: the mummified remains of Mimiko Mizunuma. She had not died in the hospital fire as records suggested, but had been trapped here all along. Yumi's phone begins to ring, signaling that her time is almost up. Just as the call connects, Yamashita performs a desperate, impromptu ritual, placing Yumi's phone in the dead woman's hand, hoping to appease the spirit and end the curse. For a moment, it seems to work. The ringing stops. The immediate threat appears to be over. Believing the nightmare has finally ended, a relieved Yumi returns to her apartment. But the silence is short-lived. The familiar, chilling ringtone echoes through her home once more. She sees a vision of Miko's spirit, but the ghost seems to be trying to warn her, not harm her. The true source of the curse was never the mother. Suddenly, the truth becomes sickeningly clear. Yamashita, still at the hospital, finds an old teddy bear camera, a nanny cam that Mimiko had used. He plays the tape and witnesses the horrifying reality. The footage shows Mimiko returning home to find her other daughter, Nanako, cutting Marie, who is suffering an asthma attack. It was Nanako who abused her sister, and Mimiko had been trying to protect Marie. In a final desperate act to save Marie from another attack, Mimiko accidentally killed her. The trauma caused Mimiko to develop a split personality, creating an alternate version of Nanako in her mind, the one she abused while the real Nanako watched, hidden. The red candy, which Yumi had seen with every victim, was something Marie always had with her. The curse originated from Marie, lashing out at anyone who answered her call, a ghostly reenactment of the attention she never received in life. Back in Yumi's apartment, the ghostly apparition of Marie appears. But just as the spirit is about to attack, the ghost of Mimiko materializes. Embracing her daughter Marie, Mimiko's spirit seems to finally calm her child's rage, and the two apparitions fade away, seemingly finding peace at last. Yumi is left shaken but alive, believing the curse has been lifted for good. Days later, Yamashita visits Yumi. As they talk, a sense of uneasy calm hangs in the air. Yamashita's phone rings. He answers, and Yumi's voice comes through the speaker, whispering, "I'm right here." A serene, almost gentle smile crosses her face as she turns to him. In her hand, she holds a knife. As she approaches him, she speaks in Marie's voice, revealing the horrifying truth. The curse was never broken. It has found a new host. The cycle of death is destined to continue, passed from one victim to the next, a digital ghost that can never be deleted. And that is the terrifying resolution of *1 Missed Call. A story that masterfully blends ancient folklore with modern anxieties. It serves as a stark reminder that even in our hyper-connected world, some calls are better left unanswered. It makes you wonder, the next time your phone rings with an unknown number, will you dare to pick it up? Or will you let it go to voicemail, forever fearing the message it might contain? Thank you for watching, and whatever you do, don't answer the phone.